everyone, I'm Kimberly, co-owner of Tokyo Pen Shop, and this is another guided journaling video. So today I'm going to do a video about goal planning, which I had requested recently and then many times before that. So I think it's time to do this one. So there are several ways to do this. You could do a combination of journaling and planning in a planner. But I'm going to show you how to kind of do it all together in a Stalogy. I like this method. I've done this method a bunch myself for goal planning, so I think it works well. And I'll just give you kind of an overview of that system and how I like to do it. So, like I said, it is a combination of journaling and planning that you can do in the Stalogy. So, what we're going to do is we are actually going to start with a few journaling questions, which I always have at the beginning of any goal planning section that I do. So these are really important because you don't want to have just some kind of vague idea of a goal in your mind. You really want to ask yourself these questions about your goal that you're thinking about having so that you can kind of refine it and see if it's really the right goal. So the first thing we're going to ask ourselves is, do you have your goal clearly stated? So for the purposes of this video, we're going to pretend that we are somebody who has the goal of saving $12,000 this year. So I am going to clearly state my goal and review it. Now I want to make sure that I'm using words not like I want to do such and such, but more like I will do such and such. So I'm going to put, I will save $12,000 this year. It's a pretty clear goal because it says, exactly what, in this case, how much, and in what time frame. I'm actually gonna zoom in a little bit so that you can see a little more clearly there. Okay, so I am pretty happy with that in terms of it being a clearly stated goal. So that's what you're going to want to do is look at your goal. Are you being clear about it? Definitely write it down. It will help make it just that like tangible aspect is actually going to help make it more real for your brain. So then the next question I want you to ask yourself or journal about is, what is your motivation? So is it clear to you why you want to achieve this goal? So we might write here, I will save $12,000 so that I can go live in Spain next summer. I wish. I'm just totally making that up. But you want to have an idea of why you're wanting to do this. And so that is just really going to be unique to you. Why is this goal that you feel like you want? What is your real why for why you want to achieve it? And you're going to want to spend some time really making sure you understand that, because that is where your motivation is going to come from. All right, so the next thing I want you to ask yourself is your goal reasonable? So, of course, if you only make $20,000 a year and you have a lot of other expenses you have to deal with, saying you're going to save $12,000 this next year, this is probably not a reasonable goal. A lot of people maybe have like exercise or weight loss goals, and saying you want to lose, say, like 50 pounds in 1 month, it's not reasonable. So you don't want to set yourself up to fail here. So in asking yourself if your goal is reasonable, you just want to be really honest about that. And so we're going to say, yes, it's reasonable because currently I spend more than 1,000 per month on, let's say, skincare. Okay. Sorry about the tape noise in the background. So the person managing this goal here can start to even get a sense of how they're going to accomplish it actually as they're thinking about if it is reasonable. So the next really important thing we want to write about here is, can I break my goal down into smaller chunks? So right now, this saving $12,000 in a year, this is a pretty big thing. We want to break it down into smaller chunks so that we can track it and we can see that we're on track. So for the sake of this one, we're going to say I should say, I can break it down into, let's say, $500 chunks, or I can break it down into weekly savings goal. So you're just really going to want to explore here, how can you break your goal down? So the thing about goals and goal tracking is that there's so much research that shows that goals that you track, you achieve much more than just goals that you sort of like hold on to that intention with no tracking. So the tracking part is actually really important, and it's a part that a lot of people just totally skip over or miss. The other thing is that as you're tracking this goal and seeing if you're on schedule, on track, you're also going to be getting confidence and motivation, because every week you're going to see like, hey, I did that. And if you can do something once, you can do it again. So you build that confidence. And that's another thing that's so important about this part, about breaking it down and tracking it. So finally, we get into thinking about how we are going to achieve this goal. And so this is where I like to break it down into, it's one thing to say, I'm going to save $1,000 a month, but how are you going to do this? You really want to be asking yourself, how? Because this is going to help you come up with little individual habits that you can track. So, for example, we might say, I'm going to stop purchasing skincare duplicates. So you can just have a rule with yourself. If you already have a face cream that you haven't used up yet, you can't buy another one, something like that. Another thing we could do here, another example would be, I'm going to limit my social media scrolling, because I know that when I'm mindlessly on social media scrolling, I get all these ads, and then I'm tempted to go buy, this skincare and that skincare and get this freebie, earn this freebie and that freebie, things like that. So would probably want to be as specific as possible. So maybe I'm thinking I can limit my social media to 20 minutes a day, way less temptations, to purchase those things that kind of give you that dopamine hit. Another idea is I'm going to limit eating out to once per month. There might be some people out there that, hey, doing a little habit like this where instead of eating out twice per week, you limit it to once per month. Might feel hard at first, but you'll see that, saved money adding up. Let's see, what else could we do? I'm going to stop buying plants. So again, depending on your goal and depending on you, these are going to be really unique things that you come up with. So you're going to spend this time figuring out some of these habits, and it's great if there are daily or semi-frequent habits that you can track, because it will help give you that confidence and that motivation. So finally, another part that a lot of people miss when they're goal planning is how you're going to celebrate your wins. That is really important. There's a lot of science that says you don't really form new habits very well without celebrating when you are doing the new thing that it is you want to do. And so celebrations don't have to be like, oh, I'm going to throw a party because I didn't buy skincare today. It can be super simple. It can be a super simple, small thing. Simple ways you can celebrate your little goal tracking wins. I like the earning sticker method, which is probably a method that I started when I was about 5 years old, and I continue to love it. Some people sing themselves a little good job song. I mean, there's all kinds of little things you can do. Figure out what you like. Some people put on their favorite song. One of the, it's kind of like the ubiquitous version of this would be Rocky and Eye of the Tiger, right? But you just figure out some little thing you can do to just, good job yourself. And I'll show you the method I like to do in my Stalogy. So I am going to do the sticker method because I know it works for me. And it's visual, I love it. Okay, so let me zoom back out here to normal. Okay. So after we have kind of done our goal planning journaling page, we're going to get into the goal tracking part. And this part is fun. So I usually have a master tracker. So this is totally going to depend on what goal or goals it is you're tracking. But in this case, remember I said I wanted to save $12,000 in a year. So I pretending like I'm going to start this now, and then I'm going to check in every 2 weeks with how much I've saved. That way I can keep track at a very regular basis, 24 times during the year, make sure I'm staying on track. And so this part will be quite simple. It'll be on June 1st, let's say I check in and I've saved $500. And then I can kind of assess, okay, so I'm a couple weeks in, is $500 staying on pace? Things like that. And I can do that through the whole year. And it's also going to be motivating to watch that build up. So there are a lot of different visual ways you could do that. You can also make graphs. Sometimes, depending on how excited I want to get about the goal, I'll make several different like visual ways of tracking it, and it's just fun. It's really fun to see your progress. So then the other part is the breaking it down smaller part, remember that we discussed, is for the purposes of this goal, and I think works really well for many goals, would be like a monthly tracker. So I love these Midori paintable habit tracker stamp. We also have like a sticker version that I will find on our site and link below. It's even smaller. It's just a little different. It's a sticker versus a stamp that you can use to keep track of. So we kind of discussed 4 regular habits I could do to try to work toward this goal. So I'm actually going to create for the month of May, let's say, and really it's just for the last couple weeks of May, I would imagine. I'm gonna create 4 little habit tracker spots. So what was our first one? No more skincare duplicates. So let's put no buy skincare duplicates, or however you want to say it. And then I love using these Maru liners. This tourmaline color is really pretty, but just for all of the days in your month that you've performed that goal. So let's say we're just keeping up the success here. And so in that way you get this nice visual. There's also the calendar one that can work with this different kinds of tracking. It's really kind of just whatever your preference is. I'm just kind of trying to give you some ideas and show you the types of things that I do because I've been asked about this so many times. What are our other? So we're going to, so this one's interesting. We're going to limit eating out to once per month. So we're going to say no restaurants or whatever. And then in that case, my hope for this would be that I would only have one day where I wouldn't get my stamp, but that would be considered, a total success. No buy plants was another idea we had. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah, social media scrolling. So we're gonna do this. You don't really have to, but I find that when I probably need to re-ink these, these are these self-inking stamps, and I've been using it so long that if I don't kind of rub it, it sometimes doesn't all come off. So that's why I'm doing that. So we'll do, I forgot already. Oh yeah. Okay, so social media, we're gonna say less than or equal to like 20 minutes or something like that. Okay, and so yeah, so every day you're just gonna be like, did I do this habit today that I wanted to do? And then as you go through the month, you're gonna get all this motivation because you're gonna maybe see all these successes, right? Now, don't expect yourself to be perfect, because if you take that perfection or nothing approach, you'll quit or you'll, sabotage. And it's much, much, much better to have to be sort of like a 90 or 95% of the way good on your goal than it is to just sort of give up because of perfectionist mindset. We don't want that. So over here, these are our, daily habit side. And then over on the left, I would set up my month. Now you can totally do this by hand. I love these Stalogy stickers because it just so much faster. But it basically is like a blank calendar sticker that fits in the Stalogy, and you can, just set up whatever month it is that you're wanting to set up. And in this case, I've set up May, and I'm going to use this for my wins. Remember, I said it's really important to decide how you're going to celebrate your wins. I'm going to start, earning a sticker every day. So, planner stickers can be so fun because you can just decide like, okay, what's going to be really like motivating for me to earn every day? What am I going to think is like, just like pleasing to see? So you could do something like these really cute sticker marche. Maybe you want to do like some cute Midori plant stickers. Or maybe you want a theme. Like this is clearly like a weight loss theme in the sticker collection. This is like a yoga theme. Another floral one. These are fun because they're little trophies or ribbons. So I'll link these below. I've used these a bunch of times in my tracking. Or maybe you want to do something really interesting, which is you can earn a sticker, but also you can be tracking like, how was it for you that day? So for example, maybe you want to say, okay, so I did all of my habits today, but it was really, really, really hard. So maybe you want to kind of log your emotions as you're keeping track of your accomplishments, So that's just an idea. I get a little more excited about like doing the trophy or something like that. But tracking sort of how hard of a time you're doing with it can be good too. But you can also keep that separate if you just want to keep the celebrating your wins part really positive. If you have a bunch of scally faces looking at you, that might not feel so good. You might want crystals or something. So yeah, I hope that helps get you started in goal planning and gives you an idea how you can just use a plain notebook for goal planning. You don't have to go out and get a planner, although they are really certainly fun to use. And then you can use your pages after this to do journaling about your goal through the month if you need to. And then when the next month starts, you're going to do this layout again. And you're going to continue logging as you go. And if at some point you need to revisit some of these prompts, you do that too. You might want to reassess how reasonable your goal is after a certain amount of time. You might want to reassess like what your big why is or where your motivation is coming from. Or, you might want to reassess your habits. So, if you have any questions about this method, it's just a completely made up thing by me. I know there's a million different ways you could do this, but if you have any questions or especially any requests for other goal planning type videos, please do let me know. I'd be happy also to, if you have a specific habit you'd like me to, or a specific goal you'd like me to walk you through, you can always tell me that, because a lot of times for these videos, we'll just come up with some example that I think might be like a common one people would want to work on. But you can absolutely tell me your actual thing you want me to walk you through in the guided journaling, and I would be happy to do that. All right, well, I hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.